There's a feeling most of us never talk about. It's not sadness. Not really. It's not anger, either. It's quieter than both. It's the feeling that something inside you is shattered, that the pieces just don't fit the way they used to, that you're walking through life, holding yourself together with nothing but willpower. If you've ever woken up and wondered if you'll ever feel whole again, then this story was made for you. His name was Milo. He was 17, and he believed, with every part of himself, that he was broken beyond repair. It hadn't always been this way. Milo remembered a time when he laughed as a Lee, when the world felt open and full of possibility. But then something happened the way something happens to almost everyone at some point, and after that, he couldn't find his way back. The joy stopped. The confidence disappeared. Every single morning felt like lifting a heavy stone from his chest just to breathe. He stopped talking to people about it. I mean, what could he say? How do you explain that you feel like a jar that's been dropped? That all the pieces are still there, scattered on the floor, but you have no idea how to put them back together. One afternoon in late autumn, Milo was walking through his town after a heavy rainstorm. The streets were wet, the sky was gray, and he passed a small studio he had never noticed before. The door was open, and T's warm, inviting light spilled onto the wet pavement. He found himself stepping inside. The studio was warm. It smelled of earth and dust, and at a potter's wheel, a woman named Ada was working, her hands deep in a mound of clay. But what Milo noticed first, what made him unable to look away, were her arms. They were covered in scars. Old ones, pale and raised. She didn't hide them. They were simply there, a part affair. Ada looked up from her work. She smiled and said, "Come in. You look like the rain followed you here." Milo looked around the studio. Shelves lined the walls, filled with all kinds of pottery, and on one shelf, something stopped him in his tracks. A bowl. It was beautiful, but it was cracked, and the cracks were filled with gold, thin, bright lines running through the ceramic like veins of light. "What is that?" he asked. Ada followed his gaze. "Kintsugi," she said. "It's a Japanese tradition. When pottery breaks, instead of throwing it away, they repair it with gold. They fill every crack, and the piece becomes more beautiful and more valuable than it was before it broke." Milo just stared at it. The gold lines seemed to glow in the soft light from the window. "But why?" he asked quietly. Ada set down her hands. She looked at him with an intensity that felt like she could see right past the surface. "Because breaking is not the end of something," she explained. "It's the beginning of something else, something more honest. That bowl was perfect before, sure. But it was also ordinary. It's the cracks that make it extraordinary. It is the breaking that gives it a story." Milo felt his throat tighten. He looked down at his own hands, feeling a wave of emotion he couldn't name. Ada continued, her voice so soft and gentle. Not pitying, just understanding. "You are not here by accident," she said. "You came in because something in you recognized something in this room. Am I wrong?" He just shook his head, unable to speak. She nodded slowly. "I know what broken feels like." She lifted one arm, showing the scars she carried so openly. "I have been broken in ways I will never fully describe, but I'm here, creating things. Not despite the breaking Backhouse of Italiano. The breaking taught me what I was made of, and what I was made of turned out to be stronger than I ever imagined. Think of a bell. A perfect, uncracked bell makes a clean, pleasant sound. A sound you might not even remember hearing. But a bell with a crack in it sings differently. The sound that comes out is uneven. It's layered. It's strange. And sometimes, that strange sound is the most beautiful one in the whole room. It's not the sound anyone planned for, but it's the only sound that is truly, uniquely alive." Milo sat in that studio for a long, long time. Ada didn't lecture him. She didn't give him a 5-step plan to fix his life. She simply worked beside him, her hands moving through the clay with a practiced grace, and the silence between them wasn't empty. It was full of something Milo hadn't felt in what seemed like forever. It was hope. Quiet and fragile, yes, but it was there. Think about a seed. Before it can become a tree, it has to do something that looks, From the outside, like complete destruction, it must crack open. It has to split apart. The shell it has carried its entire life must break. And only then, only after that breaking, can something new begin to grow. The seed doesn't fight it. It surrenders to the breaking, because somewhere deep inside it, it already knows what it is becoming. As the sun began to set, the sky cleared up, and Ada walked him to the door. She said one last thing to him. She said, "The people who feel the most broken are not the weakest. They are the ones who have felt the most. And that capacity, ability to feel so deeply is not a flaw. It is the very thing that will make you extraordinary. You just have to let the gold in." Milo walked home that evening in a different kind of silence. It wasn't the silence of emptiness anymore. It was the silence of something beginning. And here is what I want you to understand. Right now, in this moment, you are not broken. You have been cracked. And there's a world of difference between those two things. Broken means finished. Done. Over. But cracked means there's somewhere for the light to enter. Somewhere for the gold to fill. Somewhere for something new and beautiful to grow. You have been carrying this feeling around like a final verdict, like you are damaged beyond use. But life did not break you on purpose. It tested you and you survived. That is not weakness. That is where your gold begins. So please, do not cover your cracks. Don't hide them away in shame. And don't wish them away. Let them shine. Because your story, your survival, your beautiful, golden repair, it might just be the light someone else needs to see. If you are struggling, please know you're not alone, and help is available. There are resources in the description below. Thank you for listening. Take care.